Well, good morning, everybody, or good day, or whatever it is where you may be. This is Carpo, and I'm going to cover a topic here that a lot of people tend to avoid because it's touchy. And I know that I'm known by my subs as the one who touches upon subjects that people don't want to, and I get a lot of shit for it, and that's fine. The particular situation that I'm speaking of today is veterans. And I have a strong emotional empathy for veterans. And now there's two ways to look at this, and kind of what I'm getting at here is that I live in Portland, and coming to work every day I see a lot of homeless people, a lot, and going home. And just about every on-ramp, off-ramp, there's somebody that's begging for money. Now, I have mixed feelings about that. Sometimes I give them money, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I think to myself, look at them, they're still there, they should do something else, go somewhere else, get another job. Sometimes I say, oh, well, poor people, they need money. So, I guess I was coming up to the off-ramp and to get onto Burnside in Portland, and there's usually somebody standing on the corner there. And the thing is, these people get there in the morning and they know exactly what time the lights start. They know what time they usually get there at 3 in the afternoon because then the on-ramp lights start up. And they have a schedule. Well, there's a new guy there today. And I'd never seen him before. And he looked to be about, I want to say he was 30-ish. So, you know, he had a sign that said Iraq veteran. And so I assume that he probably was there in the last 10 years. And the look on his face when the car started driving and nobody had given him money was like devastation, as if he was new to this maybe, but it said, Iraq veteran begging for empathy. I just wanted to I didn't know what to say to myself about that. Like, are you really begging for empathy, or are you begging for money and hoping to get empathy? And I know that that sounds kind of harsh, but let me show where I'm coming from here and try to explain this without sounding like a dick. It seems like people go off to war and their family and friends tell them, don't join the military. Don't join the military. Don't join the military. It's going to screw you up. And they say no. Because if I go here, then I can get college paid for, and I can, become this and that, and I'll get free training. So people don't join the military just to defend their country. That's very rare. You have to have an incentive for people to join the military. So therefore, folks join the military in hopes that they will get something out of it. And when they realize they've been completely fucked over by their government, they seem surprised. And I realize that not everybody understands that the soldier is the peon, but you should. And I'll tell you something, if I was going to go off to war, and if I was going to join the military, I'd do a hell of a lot of research about it before I did. You don't go off to war and say, wow, I'm surprised, I can't believe it's so harsh. 20 years ago, that was excusable. We didn't know any better, but today, all you have to do is go online and you can look at live action in any war and see how bad it really is. So we have a person who joins the military in hopes of getting an education. Something happens, they end up getting screwed over, their government screws them over, and then they are forced to ask for money from the people. And there's two different sides to this. There's one where they just use it as an excuse, but most of the time they're messed up mentally. They could call it shell shock, fatigue, PTSD, whatever name you want to give it. Anybody who's been to war and in a war zone has been through this. And I can't say it because I've never been there firsthand, but my father and his father both fought in major wars. My father told me this story of how he told my mother the story, and she told me about how they were forced to go into a village of all women and children. When they got there, they were ordered to execute all of the women and children. The men were out fighting. So they did. I don't hold that against my dad. He was a loving, great person. He died when I was like 14, but And I believe he died from Agent Orange, as a result from the Agent Orange that they sprayed in Vietnam, because he had a tumor on his lung and it spread. So I have some strong feelings towards the military. I'm very opposed to sending our children off to fight wars, and there's a reason why they take young kids. It's so obvious. People know it's because you haven't been molded yet. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of veterans. The old vets, the ones who fought in Vietnam, that are still out there on the street. It just shows how one or 2 years in a war when you're 18 can destroy you for life mentally if you're not prepared for it. And nobody's prepared for killing people. So that's what my point is. I'm sad and I feel bad for them, and I don't understand the sign that I would like to see a veteran holding up would say, "Veteran, fought for this country and my government fucked me over." I never see that. You know why? It seems like there's still, was the kind of the point, is that nobody's out there saying, "I got screwed over by the government and now I need your help." It's, sometimes these people are still wearing their uniforms. They're still proud of what they did. They're still proud of their medals, and they're still honored to be part of that. And I just don't know if why you would want to be proud of being part of something that screwed you over so badly. But we're all in a group, and you tend to flock towards people of your groups and like mine. So folks who have been in the military can only associate really with people who have been there too. And I understand that, because there's certain things I can't talk to people about unless they've been there. And so I guess that's where it stands. I just, I'm not dissing vets at all. I think it's very noble that they make the effort to do something to change the world, or to at least help their country, even though it may be completely in vain. I mean, there is no war that's ever really assisted America. I mean, it's disgusting. The people who stand up and say, "America, the great, look at what we've done, look at all the things we've helped." It's like, are you just completely asleep? Everything we've done has been for selfish motives. It's always been that way. That's just the human nature. Something I thought about yesterday was World War II. I thought, yeah, we ended World War II by dropping the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But when you hear about World War II, how often do you really think about Japan? Most people think of Hitler. So Hitler was the one causing the problems. Japan was causing problems to us in the sidelines, and supposedly we allowed Pearl Harbor to happen. Maybe one of the first false flags, but I don't know. I have no proof of that. That's just what I've read. And we allowed it to be attacked in order for having an excuse to go into the war. It's totally wrong. Look at how many soldiers we killed by allowing something to happen for the greater good. So if you're a person out there who's maybe young and thinking of joining the military, do yourself a favor and don't. Because there's nothing that's going to be gained from going to war. There's no amount of schooling that is worth your health and sanity or your life. And whatever's promised to you is very likely to be very difficult to attain. And those things can be attained by you as an individual. You don't have to be a soldier. And I know some people are kind of weak-willed when they're young, and then they want to join something that will help them to become a man or a woman, to move forward in the world quickly. A lot of youth feel like they don't get enough respect. So by joining the military, instantly they can say, "Hey, yeah, I went to Iraq, or I'm in the military, and I'm learning to do this and this." Some people make it through, and they do a really good job, and they learn a lot, and they get out. My buddy Doug, he joined the military. He went to Iraq, and about 8-10 years ago, I think, and he's a very intelligent person, so I was always shocked that he joined the military. And within a couple of years, he had been he'd been sent to Afghanistan, and he spent some time in Afghanistan, And within a couple of years, he had joined one of the, I'm not exactly proud of him for doing this, but he joined one of the companies that we hate so much. The ones that are over there cashing in on the war. It's not Halliburton, but it's one like that. It's one of those small groups. And he's basically almost like working for mercenaries now. But my point was that he got out of the war zone and got into a position that he's doing really well. In fact, I think he's making like $200,000 a year working for this company. It's just crazy. And it takes very little knowledge if you have experience in the military. So he's done really well, and so some people can get out and they can get something out of it and perhaps move forward from it. But I would just hope that, my thought on that is that no matter what you get, no matter what company you get in with, these people are taking advantage of war and they're cashing in on war, and it's wrong. And that's all. War is bad. Soldiers are in a very tough spot, especially the ones that are mentally handicapped because of, and not retarded or anything, just mentally handicapped because of what happened to them, Shell-shocked. It's a horrible thing. It happened to my father. I think it happened to his father. And if I look down my family tree, it probably happened to everyone before that. So I'm the first one in the generations of my family to be smart enough to stay out of the military. And I'm very fortunate for it. So I love my country, but I don't love what it stands for, and I refuse to fight for it, because fighting was never necessary to defend our country. Namaste.